This is section 3.4, day 1, solving two-step inequalities. Our objective today is to solve two-step inequalities using inverse operations. So from your experience so far, how does solving an inequality differ from solving an equation? The best answers would be that if we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip the inequality sign, and other than that, there's an inequality symbol instead of an equal sign. So the steps to solve an inequality. We're going to follow the exact same steps as to solve an equation. The inequality sign must face the same direction in each step unless we multiply or divide by a negative number. Let's try solving some. N over 3 minus 7 equals 11. Just a reminder, we're not going to be graphing these because they are equations. So we draw our wall. To get rid of minus 7, we add 7 to both sides. We have n over 3 equals 18. To get rid of the n over 3, we multiply both sides by 3, so we get n equals 54. Then we always check our answer. We're going to check verbally quick. 54 divided by 3 is 18. 18 minus 7 is 11. It works. Now let's try this one quick. Remember, for this type of problem, we switched up the order. So we had 2x plus negative 5 equals 11. We subtracted negative 5 off of both sides, which is the same as adding 5, so we got 2x equals 6. Then we divided both sides by 2, and we got x equals 3. To check our answer, negative 5 plus 2 times 3, which is negative 5 plus 6. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong? Oh, here's the issue. That's an 11. All right, so I got to fix it. 11 minus negative 5 is 16. 16 over 2 is 8. Negative 5 plus 2 times 8. Negative 5 plus 16, which is 11. It worked. Now we're going to solve some more equations just to practice. So we're not going to graph again. All right, so we subtract 7 off of both sides. We get 8x equals 16. Divide both sides by 8, and we get x equals 2. To check, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 7 makes 23. One more just to get us back in the mode of this. W over negative 4 equals minus 3 equals 1. We add 3 to both sides. W over negative 4 equals 4. Multiply both sides by negative 4. We get W equals negative 16. To check our answer, negative 16 divided by negative 4 is positive 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. All right, now we are going to solve and graph our inequalities. All right, for the first one, we have negative 5 plus 2x is greater than or equal to 11. Just like with equations, let's change this to 2x plus negative 5 is greater than or equal to 11. Just like with our equations, I'm going to subtract negative 5 off of both sides first. I get 2x is greater than or equal to 16. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I get x is greater than or equal to 8. When I graph that, I start at 8 with a closed dot, and then I draw my arrow to the right. For the second one, we're going to start, remember, we always start with our addition or subtraction. So I start by adding 7 to both sides. I get negative 3n is greater than 18. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. I get an n, I get a negative 6. Remember, I divided by a negative, so I flip that inequality sign. So at negative 6, I have an open circle, and I draw my arrow to the left. So the only difference between solving inequalities and solving equations is that you flip the inequality if you multiply or divide by a negative. Let's try 2 more together. 9 minus 2x is less than or equal to 27, and 6n plus 1 is less than 25. So for the first one, remember we need to change this to 9 plus negative 2x is less than or equal to 27, and then we flip our order, so negative 2x plus 9 is less than or equal to 27. Start by getting rid of my plus or minus. So I subtract 9 off of each side. I get negative 2x is less than or equal to 18. And then I divide both sides by negative 2. So I get x is greater than or equal to negative 9. Remember, we flip the inequality when we divide by a negative. So at negative 9, I have a closed circle, and I draw my arrow to the right. For 6n plus 1 is less than 25, start by getting rid of your addition and subtraction. So we subtract 1 off of each side. We get 6n is less than 24. Then divide both sides by 6. So we get n is less than 4. So at 4, I make an open circle and draw my arrow to the left. All right, try these two on your own. For the first one, the first step is to add 3 to both sides. We get n over 2 is less than 5. Then we multiply each side by 2, so we get n is less than 10. So at 10, we have an open circle, arrow to the left. For the second one, we need to rewrite it first. X over negative 4 plus 1 is less than or equal to 13. Subtract 1 off of each side, we get x over negative 4 less than or equal to 12. Multiply both sides by that negative 4, so we get x is greater than or equal to negative 48. So instead of using my number line that I have here, we're just going to make our own. So I have negative 48, negative 47, negative 46, negative 49, and negative 50. I have a closed circle, arrow to the right. All right, try these two. For the first one, we start by adding 3 to both sides. We get e over negative 2 is less than or equal to 9. Multiply both sides by negative 2, and we get e is greater than or equal to negative 18. Remember, we have to split the inequality sign because we multiplied by a negative. That means this graph I have isn't going to work. We're going to make our own. Put negative 18 in the middle. I have a closed circle at negative 18, arrow to the right. And for this one, we rewrite it first. 3/4 x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 7. Subtract 4 off of each side. We get 3/4 x is greater than or equal to 3. Now we multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 4/3. And 3 times 4/3 is 4, so x is greater than or equal to 4. So at 4, I make a closed dot, and I draw my arrow to the right. Here's your assignment.